Yo, what's going on, wrestling fans? You are tuned in to the Undisputed Champ Sports Podcast, and today is our NXT UK review and results. If you didn't know, I am your host, Preston, and I'm joined in by one and only Thumbs Up Tommy. Say what's up to the people.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday night, aka Friday Junior or Friday Eve, whatever you want to call it. It's the one and only Thumbs Up Tommy, and we are here to talk about our favorite brand from across the pond, NXT UK.
All right, and before we get into that, just to remind you guys, if you didn't hear it on our last podcast, we are here every Tuesday and Wednesday with your WWE reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK, NXT, and 205 Live. Please subscribe to us wherever you guys can find us and let us know what you guys think. Tommy has the card, so let's get started with this.
Yes, so this week on NXT UK, we get right into action, which, call me crazy, but it's a pro wrestling show. I like when they get right into action.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a tag team match, which is between The Hunt, Primate, Jay Melrose, and then, Wild Boar, Mike Hitchman, or Hitchcock, I forgot what his last name is, and versus the team of Saxton Huxley and Tyson T-Bone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys have a thing for alliteration.
Yeah, Saxton Huxley sounds crazy to me.
That sounds like a serial killer name.
Yeah.
But yeah, in any case, I mean, sadly, Saxon Huxley is one of those that they really don't know what the fuck to do with him over at NXT UK. And by association, by being in a tag team with him, they don't know what to do with Tyson T-Bone either. This was, for all intents and purposes, this was a squash match.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a story. It was just for story because we saw what happened at the end of the match.
Yeah, at the end of the match, that was the main takeaway because Mark Coffey and Wolfgang attacked the Hunt after winning. They did kind of, I guess you could say like their best impression of the Usos when they both jumped off the top rope and landed on Saxton Huxley.
Mm-hmm.
That was an Uso impression to me, and it looked nice, but yeah. So they got their asses handed to them after the match, after a sneak attack, and that's pretty much the takeaway for that match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then they also mentioned that next week is going to be the match that we heard about from the grapevine last week, where Joseph Connors called out Ilya Dragunov.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to happen next week. Yes, spoiler alert, it's going to be a squash match because Joseph Connors has zero momentum behind him, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, and they also, they did a promo because finally we're getting another NXT UK takeover. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad we got to wait till August, but yes. So, next match was Kaylee Ray, my favorite Scottish chick, versus Casey Owens, Irish chick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this was a squash match, but not really. Like it was dangerously close to being a squash match.
Yeah, it was a match.
Like it was a bit of a match because Casey Owens did get some offense in, but it just wasn't enough to beat Kaylee Ray. So Kaylee Ray won with the Widow's Peak.
It felt like a how do I say it? It felt like we were literally watching them practice in the performance center. Like that's what it felt like. And I'm not talking about like after so much time of practicing a match when you first trying to figure out the match. Like this match didn't really feel like it wasn't bad, but it didn't really feel as polished as I felt like it should have been. It just felt like it was just okay.
Yeah, it felt like they were kind of stuck on first gear.
Yeah, and because I'm looking at it, and we were talking about this in the last episode, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's get into what happens after this, and then I'll talk about that.
So after that, they go into a backstage promo interview with one of my favorite women on the NXT UK roster, Ginny.
Mm-hmm.
And who does she have with her? Jazzy Gabbert, which, she didn't say a word, which she doesn't have to, so that's good. What's her name? Ginny, basically, they asked her how this friendship or partnership, whatever you want to call it, came about between her and Jazzy. And she said that when she saw Jazzy in the crowd, I think it was at TakeOver Blackpool, she knew she was like, I can either fight her myself eventually, or I can befriend her, and I chose to befriend her. And she was like, see, this is the thing that people don't understand. Here, it's not just about your skill, it's about your smarts if you get to the top, and I have more smarts than any other woman in this division. And she just walked off.
Okay, so I like that a lot. And when I saw that, it just made me think. I was like, okay, so I love NXT UK. But one of the main issues I do have with the show is with that women's division, and it's the fact that NXT UK is so good at building these heels that are women. They can
Hmm.
build them within their shows without relying on what they did outside of or before they came to NXT UK. I can't say the same for faces. The number one face right now obviously is Tony Storm, but her momentum basically has come from what she's done in independent scene, from the Mae Young Classic, so on and so forth. But I don't see any other
Yeah,
faces that are I
and
feel like that are on the rise.
sadly, Tony Storm's momentum is taking a serious nosedive.
They need another face that's on her level to kind of put some fire under her butt, because if you look at the heel side, we look at Jazzy Gabber, we're looking at Jenny, we're looking at Rhea Ripley. These are some phenomenal
Kaylee
heel.
Ray is a heel
We
also.
looking at Kaylee Ray. These are some Kaylee Ray's there. I put her outside of the phenomenal heels, but she's getting there. But those three that I named at first, those are some phenomenal female heels, and I can't say and it feels like
Hmm.
it's unbalanced when you look at the face side. It's Tony Storm, and then there's other people struggling to find their footing.
Yeah, because then who are the other faces? What's it called? Zaya Brookside? No.
It's not.
Like she ain't nowhere near the top.
Mm-hmm.
Neither is Candy Floss.
Mm-hmm.
Neither is what's her name? Well, she's just starting, so hopefully, she comes up pretty quickly. My girl Piper Niven.
Yeah, she's gonna be the next one.
Yeah, I think
That'll be
she's
the
gonna be
next
the
one.
next one. Like she's gonna be I think she's gonna be Tony's ally when Ginny decides to make her move.
Yeah, but up until that actually happens, which we don't know because she pops in and out maybe every 3 episodes. Right now, it's just Tony Storm, and then it's just people there. There isn't a balance there, you know. So
Right, right.
even the feud that's gonna happen with Jazzy and Jenny, their feud that they're gonna have with a tag team, the other team doesn't look like there's nowhere near you
Bro,
know
that's not even a question.
it's not even close. So I'm
Bro, they're
wondering
gonna
what they're doing.
dominate. That's like I see this. I see Jazzy and Ginny as like I think I said this before. The female version of Diesel and Shawn Michaels.
Hmm.
Like they can pull that off.
Yeah, and Jazzy coming out with a gold cape. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
she doesn't even have to talk. Just the way she looks, just screams charisma. Just the way she
exactly.
looks.
It just looks intimidating.
And Jenny's personality is great. Like I like her personality. I love her confidence. I love the fact that she has that little smirky, evil, irritating attitude. That's perfect for her character. I can't
And
find anybody on the
and
face
that
side that.
just brings the point home even more of female version of Diesel and Shawn Michaels because if you remember that dynamic, who was the one doing all the talking?
Oh, Shawn Michaels, of course.
HBK, the GOAT. And he had that same snarky attitude that Ginny is known for. So, yeah,
I think that's
this
a
is happening.
Yeah, I think that's usually a classic dynamic they always put. You had Enzo and Cass. The smaller guy is always the talker. Well, the big guy or the big person is always like the quote unquote like the bodyguard or the
Yeah,
person
they're the
who's
muscle.
they're the muscle, but the other person is more the manipulator to keep them under control and whatever
Yeah,
the
the
case.
mastermind.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And Ginny definitely has that mastermind feel to her.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, anyway, moving on. This is where NXT UK goes into the upper stratosphere, which, spoiler alert, we're going to give it an A plus this week. Preston, take it away.
Wait. Hold on. Did we get to the promo package for
That's
MP?
oh yeah, that's before that. But so basically, I like the promo package. Backtracking a little bit. So
Yeah,
I
so
like the
good.
promo package between
So good.
Imperium because, yeah, I love how honestly Walter, Fabian Eichner, and Marcel Bartel look great
They're
together.
perfect, bro. That's a perfect faction. That's
And
the
I
best
love that
faction
they're
I've seen in a
bringing in
while.
more factions.
That's like the best faction. I'm just going by looks. The look of the faction is the best looking faction I've seen since
They just
probably the Shield.
look they just look like they command respect, and I love it.
and they belong. It doesn't look like, I know,
It
and
doesn't
people,
look like they forced them together.
yeah, and I know people will say New Day, and I will agree with that. But with these guys putting together, they didn't have to change nothing about their characters for them to mesh well. New Day, Big E's
Exactly.
character wasn't like that before. Xavier Woods, when he was Consecrated
They
Creed or
had to
whatever,
make changes.
they had to
This
make
one, they
changes.
took three guys,
Hmm.
just put them together and said, "Go."
And they look great. I gotta get a T-shirt with them standing like that together, man. Like that,
Yeah, we got to get
it's
an
it's
Imperium
amazing. It's
T-shirt.
amazing. But moving on.
But yeah, so the promo was great. One last thing, because I love this line, because they're always talking about how they're gonna bring respect back to the mat because the mat is sacred, and then they took a blatant shot at British strong style. I say, oh, you guys say that you're big strong boys. Well, Imperium are big strong men.
Man, that's the
Like
thing, man.
it's subtle, but it's just the delivery is what made it great.
That's the thing. And that's what's so great about this is, I know I've said this before. This is something that the main roster is missing upon amongst a whole lot of other things, is great factions going to war, and we don't get that from the main roster anymore. We don't
Yes,
get that anywhere. NXT has three. NXT UK has three
bro,
great
I am
great factions.
so looking forward to this match next week. British strong style versus Imperium. What?
That's gonna be great.
Ooh, man, I think that this is going to be head and shoulders above Gallus and British strong style.
Oh, of course. Gallus,
Like
I love the
nothing
Coffee Brothers,
against
but
Gallus. I love, like I said, we're fans of the Coffee Brothers, but you're talking about British strong style that there's not a weak link among them, and now you got another faction that there's not a weak link among them in Imperium.
hmm
Bro, that's mad. That's money.
and this
That
is
is money.
and this would be a great three-way faction if Wolfgang wasn't the way he was, because he could be the big stronger guy in the group, and this would make more sense with him, Walter, and Pete Dunne. But since he's the way he is, and he's been taking losses, and he looks weaker, even though he stood up there and crossed his arm, I'm like, Wolfgang, sit down, bro. You need more matches to get in and be able to cross your arm. You're not qualified to do
Exactly.
that yet.
Yeah,
Um,
Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey, they need to just tell him, look, you're not
yeah,
allowed to cross your arms anymore.
yeah, you can't
That's
cross your
our
arms
thing.
yet.
You need to earn that.
Yeah, yeah, he needs to earn it. Win five more matches, then you can cross your arms. Until then, you got to stand there with your arms down to
Yeah.
next to your sides.
So, yeah, so getting back to what I was excited about,
Oh
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
what makes NXT UK get an A plus this week. Take it away.
Liverpool is number one, and Drake. First of all, before we get to the speech, these guys are dressed like GQ models. These guys are dressed amazing. You can't. The color palette is great. I know I always talk about clothes, but I'm into the way things look when it comes to anything. But besides that, the promo was top notch. He's talking about, you guys need to treat us with some respect because we are your tag champions, which is a fact. And he's saying
Hmm.
that you guys want us to go. What did he say? He want us to go wrestle around the area and walk through mud, and God knows what type of bodily fluids is there. And then
Oh my God.
and then he took a shot. He was like, he's like, and then we gotta wrestle with Slipknot in the back, ruining music. I was like, whoa, that is crazy. That's so great. He's so great on the mic, so much charisma.
Yeah,
James Drake didn't have to say a single word, and he didn't. And Liverpool is number one. When he gets that mic, bro, it's something
it's
amazing
money,
every single time. And those belts are so gorgeous. I love those belts.
bro. I love those belts. I love the way they come out. They're, as the saying goes, they're dressed to the nines. They just look sharp. I love the look between Zach Gibson and James Drake. And I love that dynamic because you can tell that James Drake is a man of few words.
Hmm.
So that's a perfect dynamic because he's a man of few words. Zach Gibson loves to hear himself talk. That's all you need.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like we always say, this is all you need every week at NXT UK for us to give you a phenomenal grade. Just give Gibson a mic and let him do his thing, please.
And that's the thing. It shows again. Like, NXT UK is so good with heels. So good with heels. Like, there
Yes.
isn't a single heel, I think, as far as I can think of, outside of the ones who were involved in that tag squash match and quote unquote Joseph Connors, he's supposedly a heel, but I don't know what he's doing. But outside of those characters, there isn't a single heel in there that I don't like. I can't think of one.
Wolfgang.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Oh my
I'm
god.
like, look, I'm hearing you run on about that, and I'm like, really? We just
Yeah,
talked about one.
Wolfgang, man. Does he count though? Does he really count? Is I don't know.
Well, he's associated with heel, so yeah.
Okay, I guess so.
But in any case, so now let's get on to the main event of the night, which is the fatal four-way that is going to decide the number one contender for Walter's title. In this match, we have the Irish Ace, Jordan Devlin, the Iron King, Joe Coffey, Bomber Dave Mastiff, and the Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm good with remembering the next names for those who are listening and you haven't noticed. So, yeah, what can I say about this match that I honestly I was just mind blown. Everybody showed out.
I agree.
Bro, like, and usually I like to when it's like a tag team match or multiple tag teams or a multi-man match, I like to try and pay attention to see who, in my opinion, is the standout wrestler in the match. This one, I couldn't pick one.
Yeah, everybody did really good in this match.
Like everybody hit their top spots like they were supposed to, and they just had that dynamic where it just ran the fluidity of the match was perfect.
Hmm.
Everybody hit their spots. I love when Mastiff hit that he hit what's his finisher called? The Void?
Hmm.
When he does the basically the Kevin Owens cannonball.
Hmm.
I love when he caught Jordan Devlin and Joe Coffey in the same turnbuckle, and he goes and hits both of them with that move. And then he goes and tries to go at Travis Banks, and Travis Banks tries to go for the slice of heaven, gets caught, and he gets fall away slammed.
I like I like the spot. If I do remember this correctly, the spot where Jordan Devlin was trying to go at Travis Banks and Travis Banks tripped him, and he
Mm.
caused him to headbutt Coffee in the balls, and then he just rolled
Oh,
off the mat.
that was
That was
hilarious.
hilarious. That was so smart.
Oh my God. These guys, like you could tell that they had fun doing this match.
Yeah, I didn't know how much I missed Jordan Devlin until I saw this match. Like I was like,
Bro, why do you
wow.
think I'm such a big fan of Jordan Devlin?
I was like, man, he's been like where he needs to be, and then Mastiff too. Like I was like,
And like, and man, you know how much I used to always rag on Jordan Devlin, calling him Finn Balor light, Finn
hmm
Balor 2.0, because you look at him and you see Finn Balor,
hmm
but I think Jordan Devlin is stepping out into the territory of, where he's essentially, for people that know that Finn Balor trained him, he's kind of stepping out from behind Finn Balor's shadow,
right.
which is a great thing because especially since they look so similar,
Hmm.
I'm all for it. I want Jordan Devlin to have a name that, resonates on its own without having Finn Balor's name attached to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a hell of a performer. And I thought he was going to win this match a couple of times over.
Who Jordan Devlin?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I never thought so the whole time. I knew it was gonna be a face. I knew it had to be a face because if this is going against Walter, um, then it's gonna be somebody that they really wanted to push, and it's definitely gonna be a face. So I was like, the only person that's left
Yeah.
is Banks.
Yeah, plus, like, it's long overdue because Banks has been sadly plagued with injury and things of that nature for the duration of NXT UK so far. So
Mhm.
it's definitely much deserved. Congratulations to Travis Banks because I forgot the exact finish. I think Devlin did something. I think he did like a backflip or something off of the top rope, and he landed on Mastiff after Mastiff was trying to pin Coffee.
Mhm.
And then when he got up, bam! Fucking, what's his name? Travis Banks hit him with a slice of heaven, and he
Mhm.
grabbed him with the quickness and hit that Kiwi Crusher for the win.
Yep. That's the graphic we got too for the review picture too. Like that was
Yes,
crazy, and this
that
is
was
gonna
a
be
great
great
picture.
I mean, we all know how great Travis Banks is, but we already know he's gonna lose that
Hmm.
match against Walter. Walter's not losing that championship no time soon. But
Yeah,
as long as he
Walter
put
is
up a
definitely
good
not losing.
fight with them, that's gonna make him look really great. And then we obviously know he's probably gonna go back to Jordan Devlin with another feud.
And the thing is, we know that Travis Banks can deliver on that.
Of course, of course. It just
Yeah,
depends on how they
like
book it.
so I know if our buddy Justin has been watching NXT UK, I know he's happy with that result.
Oh yeah, of course, because he
Yeah, because he's the one that told us about Travis Banks before NXT UK. Like he's like probably the biggest Travis Banks fan that I know.
yeah, we were before they started UK. Me and him were like talking in our like us in like a solo chat room about this guy, and I remember he had told me that he was rumored to come in NXT, and we thought that he was coming to
Hmm.
regular NXT and not the UK version. So yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's good to see him here.
Yeah, I know Justin's got to be happy when if he hasn't found out, when he does find out that he's now the number one contender.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Justin, that one's for you, buddy. We got to get you back on the cast one of these days
facts.
because we still have that. Oh, it was supposed to be a podcast episode, but we just rambled on for like 3 hours and we couldn't really cut it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, no, it was a fun Friday night, but it's like, we definitely it's hard when the conversation just flows so vividly. It's hard to like pick a spot to just cut it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so, definitely we got to pick a day and have Justin come back and we'll do a proper episode of the cast, where we'll talk theory or, predictions or how, fantasy booking, something along those lines, because, like that's always fun to do, fantasy booking.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
But yeah, so that wraps up NXT UK. My fans out there that are listening to Preston and I talk about it, and as I said before, spoiler alert, this gets an A+ from me.
Yeah, I agree. Well, actually, I'll give it a lower grade. I give it an A. Just off of that first match. But
Nah, like the first match, I'm okay with it being a squash match because it's two guys that they're not really doing anything with anyway.
mhm,
So and like if it and now for the record, if it wasn't for Liverpool's number one, I
mhm.
would have just gave it an A.
Yeah, this guy is he's chock full of charisma. He's so it's so crazy how good he is. And I when it first started coming on and people was like, oh, he's just a guy that's just talking and sweating. I'm like, at first his promos weren't amazing, but I can tell he had charisma behind it, and now he's starting to form his promos a lot better. You could tell at certain spots where he's kind of like not going off the script, but improvising on what he's
Hmm.
talking about. It's so
Yeah.
great. He told him to shut. He's like, shut your mouth, shut up, show us some respect.
He's like, shut up.
And he's like, just to let you know, if you guys do not, if we're unhappy, and if we're unhappy, we're gonna make the locker room unhappy, and that's not good for you guys. I was like, yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
like, yo,
accurate.
you making threats to Johnny Saint now? Okay.
He got the belt, so he got the stand right now. So
He's like, yo, we're the locker room leaders.
yep,
He's like, they look up to us. Again, like, how much I couldn't stand Zach Gibson at first, but just seeing his solid promo work just
I'm
made
telling
all
you,
the difference.
yeah, I remember that. And I was telling you, I was like, man, he's good. I like him, and he's great. He's great.
But again, as much as we like singing praises for Zach Gibson, that wraps up NXT UK this week, guys.
All right, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Once again, we will be here every Wednesday and Tuesday with WWE reviews for every show. Thank you guys for listening. Please hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Share. Let your friends know about us. And you can debate in the comment section all you want to. We will be here to read your comments. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Preston. That's Tommy. Peace.
Peace.